Senator, great to see you. It was about a year ago that Donald Trump warned us about this. He said he had intel about it. Everybody was scoffing, et cetera. But we lost that year when we could have investigated. Because Donald Trump said it, everybody assumed it wasn't so. The Wall Street Journal report says that other governments that could have helped push for a lab investigation back then distanced themselves as Mr. Trump began to speak about it. And they quote an ambassador to the WHO from the United States back then saying it was like an overnight shift. When the president first touched this, they shut down. So we missed about a year's worth of research that we could have done about the origin.
Right. You know, China was holding us all hostage. They had grabbed all the protective equipment in the world and were holding that over people's heads, whether it was masks or IV solutions, all the things you would need to fight an epidemic, a pandemic in this case. China was holding all the nations hostage, so they were afraid to stand up to them. But here we are, 17 months later. They've had 17 months to prove that this did not leak from their lab. They've tested over 80,000 animals, and they still haven't found the virus. If you think about SARS for 2002, it only took them 4 months to find that the civet was the species in the middle of this, and then in 2012 for MERS, it only took them 9 months. So 17 months, 80,000 animals, and we still don't know where this virus is
Cases go cold. That's the problem with waiting so long, and that may have happened here. By the way, the one thing that they haven't tested is the antibody tests of the lab workers. Now, the Chinese government claims that nobody has any COVID antivirus. A lot of people say that's simply not possible. The fact is, though, that after the president came out with his comments, I'm looking at a headline here from May 1st, 2020, again, about a year ago exactly. Trump says he's seen evidence virus started in Chinese lab. But almost immediately after, Dr. Fauci came out May 5th and said Dr. Fauci again dismisses the Wuhan lab as a source of coronavirus. He said back then everything strongly indicates that this virus evolved in nature and then jumped species. It seems like even Dr. Fauci was so anxious to discredit President Trump that he avoided some strong evidence.
Right, and just not Dr. Fauci, but all the experts that came out proposing that was the theory, that this was something from nature. All of them were benefiting from funding from our own NIH and continue to benefit from funding. So there, the concern is, were some of the earlier studies done in this country, could they have led to a virus that perhaps was then utilized to become this new COVID-19 virus? So there's concern that we would have taken the SARS-1 virus with this RTG13 that everyone's starting about, rat G13 virus. Did they combine them somehow in that laboratory in Wuhan? And we don't know. Okay, we don't know, but China could disprove this. They had the data to show us, just like the antibodies to the blood you talked about. They could give us the blood and we could test it, and they could prove everything that we're talking about wrong.
We don't know, but they were so damn sure that the president was wrong in saying something which looks like there's more evidence for now than ever. So much evidence, by the way, that even Dr. Fauci is changing his tune. Let me play a tape of him recently, May 11th.
Are you still confident that it developed naturally?
I'm not convinced about that. I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we find out, to the best of our ability, exactly what happened.
Now, that's not at all what he was saying. I had an interview with him way back before the pandemic really started in January 2020, in which I asked him about China and whether it was possible to believe that they were being transparent back then about the virus. Here's what he said. Roll tape. China has been known to fiddle with their stats before. Do you trust what they are telling us about this illness?
From what I can see right now, they really are being much, much more transparent than what happened with SARS, where they really kept back information for a while. It was embarrassing to them. They're really transparent now. They put the sequence of the virus up on the public database right away. So in that respect, they've been transparent.
I was pretty surprised to hear that. I mean, they clearly are anything but transparent, even back then. Could it be that Dr. Fauci's relationship with the Wuhan lab kind of prejudiced him a little bit on that?
Well, right. I know Dr. Fauci's never sent us any mixed messages before or walked something back before, but I think this is one more example of it. And I think really to his credit, 17 months later, China's still not reproduced this virus. Even you go back again to the SARS, we found 24 predecessors to SARS as that virus mutated to something that would impact humans. Here we are today, 17 months later, we can't find any ancestor to the COVID-19 virus. Just something is wrong in nature, that this virus is just so strong, just so ferocious. It sticks to human lung cells like glue, and it used a process that the NIH was funding that they discovered in a lab in North Carolina that allows us to use humanized mice in a special receptor that mimics human cells. So I think there's a lot of smoke here.
It's anecdotal, but I had the virus. Other people I've talked to who had the virus say there's something different about this virus. It just feels different. I mean, just in addition to all of the medical evidence and the scientific evidence. But the question of whether there was gain of function research, as you suggested, that means taking the virus, working in a lab to make it even more virulent for various reasons. Do we have any more information about that? We saw Dr. Fauci answer to Senator Rand, your colleague, saying that no, there wasn't any gain of function research that we funded or we were involved with funding. But can that really be proved?
Oh, I think so. And I think what the argument here now is, tomato, tomato. Dr. Fauci is saying that what's not viral gain of function research and what Dr. Paul is saying is viral gain of function. And I think that they have really strict definitions. And I have confidence that Dr. Fauci has, he can go back with his lawyers and he's going to defend that this was not viral gain of function studies. Yeah. But certainly there were studies done that enhanced the capability of this SARS virus and SARS-1 virus and turned it into a bigger virus, crossbreeding it with some other viruses. So we know we were involved with that in the early stages. We talked Dr. Shi over there at the Wuhan Institute of Virology Lab how to do that. And then we don't know what happened after that. I just want to be real clear. I do not think that our federal government, Dr. Fauci, the NIH, was involved in some type of viral gain of function for the purposes of a virus like this. I think that they were always out there trying to make vaccines and stay ahead of the natural occurring virus. But we don't know what happened after we kind of got out of those first couple of steps.
And I do not have the same confidence in the World Health Organization, primarily because of their relationship with China and the way they allowed China to take over the investigation and praise China as being transparent far longer than Dr. Fauci did, by the way. And yet the Biden administration says just today, they said they're going to leave it up to the World Health Organization to follow the leads on this, to follow the string. Do you trust the WHO to do that?
They'll need a watchdog with them, and they need unfettered access. I think if China would give us all the data, give us unfettered access to everything, it would be great to have scientists from all over the world, not just the United States. But we can't wait. We have to go down several parallel roads at the same time. We can walk and chew gum, so we need to do both of those. I hope that the WHO would share some of the data that they're collecting with scientists in America. Scientists in France have some expertise, the United Kingdom as well. So they need to be the harbor of go in there and gather the evidence and then share it with the world. Then I would. But that's just the first step.
The great news is the Wall Street Journal proved that it's not a cold case, that you can still get more breaking information about this case. Thank God for the Wall Street Journal and the work that they've been doing on it. Senator Marshall, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.